morning. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, 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 yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Now everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Oh, now let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Hey, hey, hey.
Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living in Santa Rosa. Can we give some more love to our fabulous band? I'm Reverend Russ Laguerre. I am your assistant minister, and I'm thrilled to be here with you today. And good morning also to our fabulous live stream viewers, wherever you are watching us from. We're so grateful to have you here. And if you ever have any questions about what goes on here at our center, we have a website, CSLSR.org. It's all of our initials with a .org at the end. And on that website, you will find our monthly bulletin behind the photo of the old-fashioned typewriter. And there you can see all the events, all the classes, all the workshops, all the groups, everything that's going on at a glance in our center. So it's a great resource. Please take advantage of that so you always know what's going on here. Also, we have spiritual education. In fact, spiritual education is the foundation of our Science of Mind teaching. And so to help you out with that, we have an education catalog that you can pick up out at the info desk that has all of the classes that are happening from now until the end of this year. We also have that on our website, and you can just look for the photo of the education catalog on our website and find your perfect class, your perfect workshop, your perfect book study. We've got plenty coming up, and you'll find out about those at the end of service today. We also offer scholarships for many of our classes, and if that sounds interesting to you, come talk to me and I can help you to get plugged in with that. We also have an incredible youth and family program here that I hear is quite fun. Yes. Oh, yes. See, Jamie brought her clapping hands with her today, so thank you, Jamie. That is for all ages of children to get plugged into our community during our 11 a.m. service and beyond. And if you have any questions about our youth program, what they do at 11 o'clock, or if maybe you want to volunteer and be that wonderful adult who is there to help our children find their way through the world, you can talk to Jennifer Caldwell after service. She's sitting right there, waving furiously at all of us. She'll be out in the social hall to get you plugged into that. Now I invite you to join me in speaking aloud our vision and our mission statement together. The Center for Spiritual Living is a spiritual community that promotes global transformation through personal transformation. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We are motivated by a compelling global vision that inspires us to bring the gifts of compassion, integrity, and loving kindness to the world through our programs and teaching. Together, we are helping create a world that works for everyone. And part of this global vision states that we envision a worldwide culture in which forgiveness, whether for errors, injustices, or debts, is the norm. And we follow our vision through the 5 core spiritual practices of our teaching. And would you please read those out loud with me? Spiritual study, affirmative prayer, meditation, selfless service, and spiritual circulation. We would now like to extend a very warm welcome to our first-time visitors. First-time visitors, would you please stand as you are able or raise your hand, and we would love to bring you a flower and a welcome packet as a token of our gratitude for you choosing to be with us today. So I know that somewhere between the music, the meditation, the prayer, our practices, and Reverend Joyce's message today is exactly what you need to experience for the next step of your spiritual journey. Please know you are so very welcome here. Now sit back and relax and enjoy some music before our short time of silent contemplation and prayer.
In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world filled with chaos and noise. I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world filled with chaos and noise. I awake to these precious moments when I hear all that could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find God, I find God, I find myself.
There is only one life. That life is here, right now, in us, as us, through us, surrounding us. It is the vitality found in silence. It is the vitality found in community. It is the one source from which all else is rooted. It is love infusing divine intelligence and wisdom. It is that spacious wholeness that simply holds, enfolds, and encompasses. It is whole, perfect, and complete, no matter how it looks, and it is simply incessantly flowing. As I am one with that vitality, that divine energy, that life, so is each one of us in this sanctuary, online, throughout the entire universe. Each of us graced as an individuated expression, holding all of the qualities that the divine itself is, walking through our lives as peace, as love, as balance, as harmony, joy, and serenity. I accept for this time this morning an enthusiastic feeling that runs through each of us on stage, in the sanctuary, in the social hall, in the youth program. An enthusiasm that simply invites more gratitude, more love, more community. And in each part of this morning, the prayer, the announcements, the message, and the music, we will hear, each one of us will hear. Each one of us will give and receive whatever is ours to do. I give great thanks for this time, and I simply release this word into the law that always acts as it is directed. And together we say, and so it is. Amen. Good morning. My name is Peggy Weber with new glasses, so it's a little bit hard to see people out there. But would you please join me reading the affirmation that's in front of you and behind me? I easily tune into the peace at the center of my soul, and so it is.
I am okay. I am not afraid. There is light behind every shadow. There is love beyond the fear. There is beauty in the sorrow and magic in the tears. I am brave.
Astra, Chris, gentlemen of the band, thank you so much. What a beautiful song. Astra, you wrote that, yes? Beautiful. Yeah. Good morning to us here. Good morning to those of us checking in from various places. We're all together right here, right now, and it is good. This is September 1st, and the theme for the month is Pieces into Peace. And specifically, the topic of today's talk is rising from pieces into peace. That's from pieces as in separate pieces into peace. The state of being of calm, the consciousness of peace. P-E-A-C-E. And really, from pieces into peace, that phrase encapsulates everything that I'm talking about today, because when we go from experience ourselves as a separate piece, as a separate part, indeed as a separate self, then we automatically are at peace. And conversely, I'd like to suggest that in those moments when we are experiencing peace, we have dropped our separation. We are united. We are one. Pieces into peace. I know this idea of dropping the idea of a separate self can be kind of challenging, so we'll approach it kind of slowly, kind of gently. I'd like to begin, though, today by reading a poem. And actually, before I read the poem, I'd just like to take a moment to ask you how you are. You needn't put it in the chat box or say it out loud, but just take a moment to check in how you're feeling right now. Sometimes when somebody really asks me, how are you? I don't have an answer other than okay, so I have to on a scale of 1 to 100, I'm 60% relaxed, 20% excited, mostly happy. So however you answer the question, how are you right in this moment? Here's the poem. It's written by one of the members of our congregation. It's called Always Beginning by The Jewel, and I'm so grateful she is willing to share it with us. Always beginning, with ease and grace, love flows forever from our source, through our breath and the flame that beats in our hearts, and into all life it illuminates and emanates light of and from every particle, every cell, that in every single moment is awakening to its vital place of being in the One, connected, a unique aspect of something greater, constant with change, always new, always beginning. In resonance, the birds in murmuration, streaming forth like a river, we move and dance in the divine world and beyond into the magnificence of the stars and galaxies, inside and outside, time and space as one sacred creation, expressing and expanding its beauty and gratitude for this never-ending, infinite flow of peace. A Holy Spirit sings in perfect harmony with jewel-toned chords plucked from strings of the harp, the resounding heart from heaven. There is a fragrance in the air of that which I am. And now I just ask you once again to note how you're feeling. Whether or not you followed that poem, perhaps there were some words in there that brought up a sense of perhaps peace. may or may not be true in this moment, but what I'm suggesting here is that there are things in our lives that can help evoke a sense of peace. Being in nature is one. Being touched or moved by a piece of music or poetry or a work of art is another. In fact, let's just pause for a moment and consider, what is it for you in your life that brings up a sense of peace? I do want to note that these things don't cause peace. What they do is they allow an opening for the peace that is always there to emerge. What they do is they allow for the peace that is always in the background to come forth into the foreground of our awareness, of our attention. Things like being in nature or enjoying a piece of music, they allow the peace that is our true nature to be experienced. And the reason that I can assert that peace is actually our true nature is because it is the nature of the Divine One itself. The Divine One is peace. And each one of us is inseparable from this Divine One, just like a drop of water in the ocean is inseparable from the ocean. So each of us is made up of that divine quality of peace, and also divine joy, divine love. These things are our very nature, shared with the Divine One and shared with each other. They are what we have in common. They are what breaks down the sense of separation between us. Have you ever been in a situation where all of a sudden everyone there is experiencing one of these qualities in the same moment? Perhaps you've been to a wedding or a memorial where all of a sudden you can feel the love that is being shared by everyone. Or maybe you've been in a room with other people listening or dancing or singing to music, and at some point you notice how everyone is connected in the joy of the music. These are moments when we stop being a separate piece. These are moments of sharing joy, sharing love, sharing being in unity with others. These are moments of collectively tasting the divine that is always present. And I'd like to suggest that these are moments when our usual thinking has stopped. Here's another example, appreciating a joke together. Say we're all at a comedy club together and the comedian's telling a joke and we're each sitting there following the joke, perhaps trying to figure out where it's going or what they're talking about, or maybe even anticipating what's going to happen. We're all sitting there thinking about it, and then all of a sudden the punchline comes and we erupt into the joy of laughter. We've gone from our own separate thinking to being united in joy. It's definitely an example of going from pieces to peace. There we all were in our own separate thoughts, and all of a sudden there's no separation, there's no thinking. We are just sharing joy. You've no doubt noticed that we live in a time of great, unfortunate divisiveness, divided into camps of people who think alike, thinking people who don't think like us must be, at the most kind, some sort of crazy. And Of course, the way to reestablishing peace among us is to actually get to know each other on a more humane level, to find our commonality, to find what unites us. Because we know this from our daily experience, the more we know someone, the more we understand them, the more we see that we have things in common, and the more chance we have of being at peace with them. The more we discover who a person really is versus who we think they are, the more likely we are to see their good qualities, their divine qualities. This is something I think we all pretty much know, and it's also something I suspect that a lot of us don't usually do. I don't know about you, but I can speak for myself that I usually don't take the time or make the effort to get to know those other people. So let's for a moment consider the root cause of all separation, whether separation from each other or each of us just sitting here feeling like a separate piece, feeling like a separate self. What is the cause of separation? Well, there's a very instructive story in the Judeo-Christian tradition. It's a story about how the Divine One created a perfect place and invited two human beings to enjoy it, Adam and Eve. Said you can enjoy all of this beauty, all of this joy, all of this peace, with the warning to avoid the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Specifically, to not eat of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Well, they did. They tasted the knowledge of good and evil, and immediately two things happened. First of all, they looked at each other, and as the story tells us, they knew they were naked. And what I get from that is they looked at each other, and all of a sudden they realized they were different. They hadn't been thinking that way before. They were just one, enjoying this garden, and all of a sudden they noticed they were different. The idea of the other came up. And the second thing that happened is they got banished from this perfect, peaceful place where all needs were met. So that's the story. And what does it tell us? And remember, this is actually not a story about something that happened one time, a long time ago. This is a metaphor for something that is always happening all the time. So with this in mind, the story tells us, first of all, that it is possible to dwell in the presence of the Divine One, in a state of peace and contentment. And the story tells us that when we partake of the knowledge of good and evil, when we step out of good and start to think in terms of good and evil, when we participate in dualistic thinking, thinking that says, you're different from me, thinking that compares things, that judges things, that notices that some are good, some are evil, some are better than each other, thinking that says, I am in some way lacking or some way bad, which means I can't be connected to my divine source, my divine nature. All that kind of thinking is what separates us from the peace that we could be inhabiting. But the good news is it's totally possible to return to the garden. It's totally possible to return at any moment to dwelling in the presence of the Divine One, in the presence of peace itself. And the way to do that? Oh, well, just all we have to do is to give up the idea of being separate pieces. To stop thinking that there's a self and there's another. To stop the idea of an I and a you. That's all. Well, great. How are we supposed to do that? Our whole world is set up with the idea of self and other. Our very language uses I, you, us, them. How can we possibly get beyond thinking how can we possibly get beyond thinking in terms of being separate? And since thinking got us into this situation, I don't see how thinking can get us out of it. And I want to just pause for a moment. I'm noticing Reverend Tara is here, and I was very struck by her talk a few weeks ago, in which a change came about in her life that had nothing to do with thinking. She told us the story of somebody in her life with whom she had conflict, and no matter what she seemed to try, she couldn't get out of that conflict. I hope I'm telling the story right, Tara. But what she did do was she, for a while, was doing a practice every morning of simply saying the word ahimsa, which means, Tara, help me. Not harming. And what happened, this had nothing to do with the thinking process. She did this daily practice of just taking on this word, ahimsa, 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 not harming. And the next time she had lunch with the person, the conflict was not there. Now that to me is pretty stunning. There was no way to think herself out of that conflict, but by doing a practice of centering in the idea of not harming, a shift happened. What I want to suggest today, I want to give you an image, since we can't think our way out of this separation. I want to give you a metaphor, an image that I find helpful in moving me toward a state of knowing that I am not a separate piece, in knowing that there's just one consciousness, one awareness, one mind, one love, one peace, showing up where I am, where you are, right here and everywhere. This image comes from the spiritual teacher Rupert Spira, S-P-I-R-A. I got it when watching one of Spira's YouTube videos. It's the image of the space in this room. And by space, let's just take a moment to appreciate the space in this room. By space, I don't mean the oxygen, the air, the temperature. I mean the space. And I suspect if this space could talk, and we asked it how it was, it would probably say it's fine, it's content, neutral, at peace, not feeling good or bad, no thoughts of right or wrong, just neutral. Now, you and I can do a lot of things in this space. We can come and go from this space. We can move furniture in and out. We can sing and dance in this space. We might get mad at somebody in this space. We might fall in love in this space. But all of those things has no effect on the space. The space is constant. It's always here. It's always the same. And it's not limited to this room. It looks like it is because there are walls, but if we open the door, we will immediately remember that the space on the inside of this room and the space on what seems to be the outside of this room are the same space. And there was a time, 60, 70 years ago, when these walls were not here, just one open space. And there will come a time when these walls come down, the space remains unchanged. That's the image I wanted to share, and the reason is I find it helpful in two ways. First of all, in that description, I can feel the echo. I can feel the resonance between the space we just talked about and the nature of the Divine One. When I think of this space, I can more easily understand that the presence of the Divine One is everywhere, all the time, unlimited, unchanging, neutral, not affected by condition, always the same. And very importantly, that we, you and I, live and move and have our being in this divine space, in this divine one, in this divine being. We are always in the perfect garden. We are always in the presence of the Divine One, surrounded by it, part of it, and in fact, made of it. Which brings me to the second thing I like about this image of space, why it's helpful to me, because it helps me drop the idea of being a separate self. Because, just like the space in this room, at first glance, I appear to have walls. I appear to be limited in space. But just like the space in this room, my divine space, my divine consciousness, your divine consciousness extends beyond these physical boundaries. And just like the space in this room, when these walls come down, consciousness, we could call it awareness, my consciousness, your consciousness, my awareness, your awareness continues. Our consciousness continues. You've probably read or heard stories about people who have had what we call near-death experiences. These are stories where people have actually died for a few minutes before coming back into their body. And often they report that even though the body died, whether the heart or the brain died, that their awareness continues. They report that they are outside of their bodies and can see their bodies. Now that's very interesting because they don't have bodies, they don't have eyes, they've gone beyond these physical walls, and yet they're still aware. This is the kind of thing that helps me remember that I am not a separate piece. Because what I'm referring to as awareness, we sometimes in our movement call it mind. You've certainly heard the phrase, there's just one mind. That mind is my mind now. That mind is your mind now, meaning there is just one mind in which there's no I or you. There's just one mind. Here is something else that I can offer to help go beyond the thoughts of separation and to embrace peace. As Jesus put it, the peace that passes all understanding. Such an elegant phrase that absolutely, in a few words, summarize the truth that in order to be at peace, we must go beyond thinking. The peace that passes all understanding. So here's the second suggestion for moving beyond separation into peace. The first was to remember the image of the space that encompasses everything, that is everything. And the second suggestion is to simply notice any time that we do experience the falling away of separation. Just simply notice. Perhaps celebrate by giving thanks for moments of joy, moments of beauty, moments of love, moments in nature, moments of laughter, moments of being touched by art or music or poetry, those moments that open us to the presence of the divine that always exists. Those moments in which separation naturally falls away and we are left in peace. In closing today, Chris and I offer you some music and some words from Ernest Holmes that may evoke a glimpse, an opening to this piece. As you may know, Ernest Holmes was the foundational teacher of the spiritual philosophy we present here at the center, and so much of Holmes's writing lays out great, clear, logical thinking about divine reality and our relationship to it. But Holmes also wrote what can be called love songs to the divine presence. And this reading is one of his love songs.
O lover of my soul, and keeper of my spirit, nothing can separate us, we are one.
Infinite presence, eternal one, you are all that is, the one in whom all life lives, infinite good, joy supreme, eternal peace. I feel your calm. You who inhabit eternity and dwell within all creation. You who live through all things and in all people. I would enter your gates with joy and live at peace in your house. I would find a resting place in you and live in your presence.
We are one. We are one. Nothing can separate us. We are one.
Guide me into your ways, and from your wisdom teach me the ways of truth. Eternal and blessed presence, illumine my mind and command my will. Refresh my soul and renew my life. As deep cries out to deep, so my thought cries out to you, and you answer.
There is just one mind. That mind is God's mind. That mind is perfect. That mind is my mind now. There is just one life. That life is God's life. And that life is perfect. That life is my life now. Right now. Right now.
My whole being responds to your love. I am renewed and refreshed. All my ways are guarded and guided, and I shall live with you eternally. I am complete in you.
There is just one love. That love is God's love. And that love is perfect. That love flows through me now. There is just one light. That light is God's light. And That light is perfect. That light shines through me now, right now, right now.
Your presence dwells within me. Your wisdom guides me. Your love keeps me. Your life envelops me now and forever. Lover of my soul, keeper of my spirit, we cannot be separated. We are one.
We are one. We are one. I am you, you are me, we are one. And in this unity, we all live in harmony, and peace has come, 'cause we are one. And peace has come, 'cause we are one.
And so it is.
Can we share some more love for Reverend Joyce? Thank you for sharing that message of peace with us this morning. So I invite you all now to take a nice deep breath, breathing in, and let out a big sigh. And we use our breath to help us to transition to our practice of one of those 5 spiritual practices you learned about earlier this morning, spiritual circulation. And there are a number of ways that you can share your gifts with us. Financial is one of them. And if you'd like to give online, you can give online through that link there, cslsr.org/donate. We also have text to give. I use that myself because it's fast, it's easy. It makes it very convenient for me to give every Sunday. A lot of people like to send in checks, and we have our address on our website. We also have our address on our business cards, and you can find that out at our info desk. And we will be passing the baskets today, and I invite our ushers to stand and hold space for us as we enter into our offering ritual today. So I invite you to close your eyes or soften your gaze if that feels comfortable, and call to mind what that feeling of spacious peace feels like to you. And allow that peace within your heart to grow and to infuse all the gifts that you share, whether they're financial or through your volunteering or through your sharing of your love and your positive regard for this community. And I invite you to repeat after me. I bless my gifts. I send them forth to heal and prosper. They do wonderful work in the world. And so it is. Ushers, please receive the gift.
It's all about allowing peace within. In absolute surrender, so serenity begins. For when the storm subsided and calm becomes the wave, it's all about allowing it to stay. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For as struggle and love pours through your heart. It's all about allowing it to start. Now feel it warm and shining, new with promise, strong, undying love, different from any you have known. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing change to show, then living in the moment like it's all you'll ever know. And though it won't be easy, you can truly say you tried, for it's all about allowing it inside. And now the seed is sown. It's all about allowing love to flow. It's setting down your burden and just simply letting go. For as you cease the struggle and love flows through your heart, it was all about allowing. All about allowing it to start.
Thank you so much for all the gifts that you share. And can we give some love to our fabulous band and our guest, Astra, is with us today. All right, it's time to find out what is going on here at our center. And so the first thing, you may have heard about this last week, but we really want to make sure that you know that this is coming up because it's a big deal. Sophia Atreyu and Nick, our drummer who's here with us today, and their friends are going to be sharing a concert with us on Friday, November 8th from 7:30 until 9 p.m. And you've heard them play on Sunday mornings, and now you'll get to experience their full range of talent on a Friday night concert their way. Now, I've seen them play live, Sophia and Atreyu and their regular band, and let me tell you, it is a good time. So you'll get yourself ready for a bunch of original songs, cover songs from your favorite rock and roll hits of the 90s and the 2000s. And whether you're in the mood to dance or simply to soak in the music, this is a night that is all about celebration. And this night is a fundraiser for our wonderful music ministry. Yes, it's going to be great. And even better, when you go on our website to purchase your ticket, there's also an option that if you'd like to share an additional gift to help to support our music ministry, you have that option as well. So you can find the link for that on our website. Just look for the photo of Sophia and Atreyu and their band playing, and that's where you can find your tickets, which the tickets there is a discount for the tickets if you get them early, so make sure you get your tickets early. So this is going to be a great chance to see our favorite Sunday musicians in a lively, no holds barred performance with just pure joy, music, and community. So I'm really looking forward to that. And something else that I'm really looking forward to is our spiritual education that is beginning right now because it's September. In case you didn't know, I know how time flies. Practitioner Christine Ruddy is starting off our education in September by leading us with an exploration of the life and times of our founder, Ernest Holmes. And she's going to be doing that on her Zoom class, Essential Ernest Holmes, that begins this Thursday, September 5th at 6:30 p.m. And in that class, you will learn how Ernest approached life, approached his spiritual practice and spirituality, and how you can bring in those same tools and techniques that he pioneered so that you can live a life of purpose, of happiness, and joy. In fact, that was the very first class that I ever took in a Center for Spiritual Living. Can you believe that? And it set me on the path that I'm on today. So who knows, you might just become a minister too if you take this class. So you can sign up by just look for that photo of Ernest looking off into the distance on the website to sign up. I'm also super excited that following Monday, September 9th at 6 p.m., we are going to begin our 6-week Spiritual Principles and Practices class. And I'm really excited for this class because I know that by learning the core spiritual practices and ideas that our founder, Ernest Holmes, shared with us, we can experience more happiness in our lives. So each week we're going to go over a new spiritual practice, a new spiritual idea, such as affirmative prayer to help us to positively shift our perspective on life, meditation to help us to feel some of that peace that Reverend Joyce talked about today. We'll talk about the importance of setting intentions in our lives, and we will learn how we can tap into the wisdom and the intuition of that spirit within us whenever we're faced with difficult choices in life. So I'm really excited about that. And even if you've already taken a foundational course, I know that you'll find something in this class for you. So if you'd like to join me, you can look for the photo of the colorful piano on our website. And best of all, I have decided to take this class and make it hybrid. So if you'd like to join on Zoom, you have that option. If you'd like to join us in person over in Wagoner Hall next Monday, you have that option as well. We also offer scholarships for both this class and Essential Earnest, and you can talk to me after service today about that, and I'll share all the details with you. So I look forward to seeing you in class. Also, you heard the fabulous Peggy Weber praying with us this morning with that beautiful prayer. Well, she's also going to be sharing a workshop in 2 weeks called Who Am I All the Time? Isn't that a great question? So in this workshop, you'll learn through the power of spiritual reflection how you can tap into that very essence of who you are and unlock more of yourself to share with the world and to have a better experience of the world. So you can sign up by clicking on the photo of the prism on our website, and you'll also hear from Peggy next week a little bit more about her workshop. Finally, I'm excited to say that we are continuing our Wednesday evening series on diversity, equity, and inclusion on September 11th, which is 2 Wednesdays from now. And we're going to have this time our congregant Celeste Austin sharing about the topic of equity, equality, and what it means to be equal under the law. And we're going to do a potluck again because it turns out that we all love eating food together. So if you'd like to sign up for that potluck, we have a sign-up sheet out at the info desk, and you can also see a link for that online on our website. I'm really delighted that we're continuing this. We had a great time with Olivia Kinsler the last service that we did in August, and we'll be continuing those through October, and we'll be continuing this conversation about peace in our Wednesday evening services this month. So I really look forward to that. Okay, so that's all that we have for announcements. It is time for us to close out our service. Before we do, though, if you have been having a hard time, if you would like to spend some time with one of our licensed prayer practitioners and have them know that peace within you, you can talk to our friendly practitioners over at the white table there. If you're here in our sanctuary, online viewers, we have Zoom prayer as well. There should be a link for you online to get connected to that, to have your very own personal handcrafted prayer with one of our licensed prayer practitioners. So I hope you take advantage of that. All right. I invite you to stand as you are able and repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening through me right now. It is this thing called life. Life is in my mind, life is in my body, and life is in my affairs. I think it, I feel it, and I accept it, just the way that it is, and just the way that it is not. Thank you, life. Please know with me that you are never alone, that Spirit is right where you are, that you have only to look within at any moment to know that you're guided, sustained, and inspired by a divine presence that expresses itself as you in this world. In deepest gratitude, let us live our lives accordingly so that in everything that we do and say and think, we honor this peace within. And so it is. Have a wonderful week and enjoy the closing music.
I am a prayer for peace. Wherever I go, peace goes with me. I feel peace inside. In every breath, peace abides. I know the joy of peace. I choose fear to release. In every moment, love wakes up, and peace is every step. Peace is every step.